Well, Stewart Downing has handed in a transfer request, and very big disappointment, I would say, both for everybody at Middlesbrough, the chairman down, the manager, and the fans, of course, as well. It's something we didn't really want to happen. You would hope that Stewart, a Teesside lad, born and bred, loves the club, played his heart out for the club, would want to stay here for longer. I know he's very ambitious, and in that respect, you do think that at the end of the day, and he has said this himself in the past, that if a big club came in for him at some time in the future, that he would be interested. What we have at the moment is a situation where Tottenham Hotspur have made 2 bids of less than £10 million, which have already been described by Chief Executive Keith Lamb as derisory. I would fully agree with that. I think that for a guy who's got 21 England caps and is as important as he is, particularly to Middlesbrough, I would have thought that you were talking a lot more money if you wanted Middlesbrough even to turn their heads and think about it. We have a situation where everybody has said he's not leaving. Steve Gibson said he's not leaving, Keith Lamb has, and Gareth Southgate has. And certainly in terms of the offers that have already been received, that's certainly the case. In fact, they hope, all three of them, that Downing is still here at the end of the month. We don't know what's going to happen, naturally. There could be a huge bid from some unexpected club. Stewart's dad's already said that there is interest from elsewhere, and I'm sure there will be. Whether anybody is capable of coming up with the kind of money that might tempt Boro in January remains to be seen. Until that happens, Stewart is definitely not going anywhere. The lad himself, he's been affected by what's gone on. It's bound to be the case. He knows there's interest. When you have clubs bidding several million pounds for you, and it always seems to be Tottenham, which is a surprise. Even under different managers, they seem to be coming back all the time. Personally, I don't think Stewart would have much to gain at the moment from going to Tottenham, and neither does anybody else at Boro. In addition to that, as an England player, you would assume he'd want to be stepping up to a club who can win things in the near future. Again, we all hope that doesn't happen. We all hope that temptation doesn't come along. But it is a difficult situation, and in many respects, with the transfer request coming very early in January, Stewart has left the whole of the month up in the air in many respects. It's come at a bad time before the Sunderland derby, but there isn't a good time for a Stewart Downing transfer request. He hasn't, in many respects, had a very good season in front of goal, hasn't yet scored, but he's still a great supplier, and we know that he's a proven Premier League player. That won't be lost on the big clubs, but does any of them have the sort of money that might tempt Boro? I mean, we're surely talking of well above 15 million, and as a result of that, it rules out a lot of other clubs. So it's very much early days in the whole saga. I'm sure the fans will be very disappointed, and maybe they're going to make that clear to Stewart when he's next on the pitch. He's turned up for training without any problems. He's a good, honest, level-headed lad. He'll keep his head down, he'll work hard, he'll continue to do the business. Let's hope the fans don't make it an impossible situation for the manager, and that Stewart is able to carry on. If he gets to the end of the month and he's still here, we want a situation where the fans and Stewart still have a love affair. So let's hope that it ends in a way that is amicable, and the best way. Boro don't want the money at the end of the day; they want the player. So let's hope he stays here. Stewart was absolutely phenomenal against Barrow in the FA Cup tie. Absolutely outstanding, tore them to shreds, could have had a hat-trick himself, created lots of chances for other players which Boro went on to miss, but at the end of the day they managed to scrape through. I suppose victory was what it was all about at the end of the day. Should have been 10-1, ended up being only 2-1. Two goals up going in the last 10 minutes was ridiculous, really, after what had gone before. And then Barrow get their first corner and score from it. Boro notoriously bad at defending set pieces. It's something that must be looked at on the training ground. It's unacceptable that Barrow can get one set piece and score from it. But that's exactly what happened, and we might have had 10 to 15 nervous minutes at the end of the game. As it was, we had maybe 60 seconds where Barrow did get 2 decent balls into the Boro box and we're all biting our fingernails. But Boro did sort of settle after that, started to come forward again, and should really have had another 3 goals in the 7 minutes of added time. Overall, it was a good Boro performance, not necessarily reflected by the result. Again, you came away thinking how good Downing had played and how well he'd done, and wanting him to stay at the club. But as I say, we're going to have to wait and see on that. Everybody sat down to watch the cup draw on Sunday afternoon. Not the one we would have wanted. Birmingham or Wolves away. They replay on Tuesday, January the 13th, I think it is. Sorry, but. Whichever one you get, it's not going to make much difference. They're both up there near the top of the Championship, both challenging for a return to the Premier League. Perhaps they may well both do. It's going to be tough. They will want to take a Premier League scalp, but let's wait for the tie to come around and see what happens. Boro have been playing very well on their travels. They certainly won't be frightened about the prospect of it. I think we'll get a very good cup tie. Again, on the Stewart Downing saga, he's going to be a crucial man against Sunderland in the big match on Saturday. It's a game that Boro must win. Sunderland are going to come here looking for a point. Boro would desperately need the 3. We haven't done as well at home as we should have done in the league for some time. Got to start turning the corner in January. Need a big show from Stewart Downing. He's the crunch man in everything all the time. And 3 points is going to be important, and his crosses are going to be crucial in helping to bring that about. That's another reason why we don't need the fans on his back on Saturday. In fact, we need the fans totally behind the whole team, because this game must be won. Very, very big month for Boro in January. 2 home games that are winnable against Sunderland and Blackburn, and of course we've got the trip to West Brom in between. 9 very important points at stake. I would argue that Boro must take 6 of them. Anything else, certainly less than that, would be a big blow, and potentially could leave Boro in the bottom 3 at the end of the month. So there's an opportunity here to start to climb away to achieve something, and Boro must start to take it. I know that Southgate did call for the team to start turning the corner, improving on things, and even though they lost at Man U, there was a sign that things were starting to move in the right direction. Performance again against Barrow was good, so they did maintain that. Now they must step up another couple of gears. Sunderland will come here determined to be resolute, hard to beat, and it's something we have to deal with and prove that we're better than them. We are better than them, in my opinion, but we've got to go out and do it on the pitch. Great to see Afonso Alves got 2 goals against Barrow. That will do his confidence no harm whatsoever, and I suspect again, along with Downing, he could be the main man on Saturday.